price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and my sisters. Welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I'm your host, Afro Elite. Before we get started, make sure you guys, as y'all coming in, lock in with me by hitting that like button, all right? Double check, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on anything, and hit that notification bell. We about to get some straightening here done tonight. We are about to do that this evening, live this evening. I appreciate every single last one of you all for being in here with us. We have Righteous Daughter, our good brother Torian, AJ, I think is Zava, I believe is pronounced. We got brothers and sisters in here. Rachel, Cara, Castor, I see you all. Patricia, F, see you. We almost got 50 people in less than 1 minute. We ain't even been here 1 minute. I see we haven't been here 1 minute. Almost got 50 people. Now it's about a minute. So we about to really lock in. Now, I'm gonna let you guys know something off rip. I have a poll going on. I do have a poll going on. Let me see if it's the poll should still be going on right now. About who you guys think is winning winning the beef. Now, what I want to do, what I had originally planned to do between the beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Now, Drake is kind of beefing with damn near everybody in the industry, in the hip-hop industry right now. But the main topic is Drake and Kendrick. That's really what everybody's thinking about, talking about, discussing. Now, he's beefing with Metro. He's beefing with Rick Ross. He's beefing with a lot of people. But everybody's really concerned with his beef with Kendrick. That's what is taking up all of the timeline and everything. What I wanted to do, what I had originally planned to do, which is what I still will do, is I'm going to have a podcast episode specifically about that. Really about the beefing between Drake and kind of everybody, but really about the beef between him and Kendrick, because it goes way back. But that's not what we're here to discuss tonight. But what I was gonna wait for the beefing to kind of be over with, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, be very, very clear. I don't think that Kendrick is done. Now, could he stop? Of course, he could stop. I mean, the battle's already been won. He could stop anytime he wanted to, but I don't think he's done yet. So that's why I'm like, okay, hold on, let me wait, because I don't want to make the episode and then have to remake the episode if he drops another diss, because he's just sitting up there dropping left and right. He's dropped 4 diss tracks in less than a week. First one being on my birthday, so I mean that's not a coincidence. It's not. But I gotta make sure that that's done with, so I don't have to keep redoing it and stuff. So I'm gonna kind of really save most of my opinions about the beef until that podcast episode that's coming on. Shout out to Antithesis for the Cash App. I appreciate you, brother. Off rip. We already got 100 people in the room in less than 5 minutes, y'all. We about to have a really, really good episode tonight. My angle's a little bit crooked, but it's okay. It's okay. I was moving stuff around. It's okay. So, okay. I really want to talk on it, but I'm kind of, because I think Kendrick got a few more, but I think at least he's gonna drop one more. Because as Iron Will said, and I'm just gonna be brief with this. I'm gonna be very brief. Okay. Let me see. Let me pull it up. Come on. If y'all listen to Drake's last song, Drake kind of threw in the towel. He very subtly kind of said, "All right, okay, I'm done. I'm kind of cool." He kind of threw the towel in at that point. If you guys like really analyze, but that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say for that. All right. But he kind of threw the towel in. So I don't know if Kendrick is gonna still go like hard, but he might. I don't know. But I do think that Kendrick is probably he's not gonna let Drake have the last word. And I do think he's gonna drop something else. So I'm kind of just waiting to see. All right, just kind of waiting to see. Now, while we having that, we gotta YouTube is this platform is really okay. There we go. There we go. Is the poll the poll should be up? I don't know if the poll. Do you guys see a poll? Let me see something, because there should be a poll. I had a poll set up for you all to vote on. I don't know if you guys see it. I don't see it no more. Let me see. I know I put it up. If it's not up, I'm gonna just put it up later. Is there a poll? It says, yeah, okay, there is a poll. There's a poll. All right, I can't see it. So, one of the things that is okay now is getting to a point that is a little bit dangerous, because a lot of times when you have rappers beef, which is essentially a part of the culture, hip hop beef, because hip hop is a very competitive and I don't really want to say aggressive. It's a competitive art. Okay, it's not really like other art, and this is if you understand like the history of hip hop and the culture of hip hop, because each different music genre kind of has its own culture to it. Like hip hop has kind of like, even though it's still FBA culture, hip hop still has hip hop culture. The same way R&B has like an R&B culture, or a country has a country culture. These are subcultures of the music genre, which is all FBA music. So in hip hop culture, beefing is a part of it, because it's a very competitive art field. You don't really see country beefing. You don't really see kind of like R&B beefing unless it's personal. They don't really be throwing you. You're not gonna really see Usher just for no reason throw shots at another R&B artist just for like, that's not kind of how it is. They don't really, I'm the king, like that's not how it is, because that's a different culture. Okay, now things can be fine. There's nothing wrong with beef. There's nothing wrong with competition. Competition is really a good thing if it's done correctly, because competition will only bring the best out of somebody. It will a lot of our most historical hip hop tracks. Okay, I don't know. I'm freezing a little bit. A lot of our most historical hip hop tracks comes from beef. I'm gonna be honest. Comes from diss tracks. We got historical hip hop diss tracks, which is fine. That's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that, until it gets to a point where now it's gotten is been taken out of the booth and now it's into the street. All right, it's kind of tricky a little bit, because with that, people diss things, people bring up allegations, people challenge each other and question each other's manhood and stuff like that, which is fine if it remains in the booth. But once it gets to the street, then okay, that's a totally different situation. Now, when you look at the situation between Tupac and Biggie, they had issues, and their issues, a lot of that kind of spilled out into the street. And the reason for that was because you have instigators who sit back, you have magazines who sit back and be all like, oh, this coast versus this coast, this set versus this set. So you have always had people come in and they stir the pot a little bit. Now, of course, if somebody's dissing you and you're trying to have a career and they're dissing you, they're delegitimizing you, okay? And the audience may be siding, you're going to feel some type of way about it. But then you're going to have other people come and they're going to antagonize, they're going to question your manhood, they're going to question your legitimacy, and they're going to steer the pot, and they're going to raise the tension. They're going to fan the already existing flames until it spills over into a dangerous place. So this is what this broadcast is about tonight. This broadcast is about the fact that when it comes to our culture, we know how to handle it. It is really, to be very honest, people, mainly people who come from outside of our culture, who then says, oh, wow, you're going to let them just talk to you like that? You're gonna let them say your mama fat? Like, I wouldn't. I guess you ain't no real man then. I mean, you should probably shoot him. They would do stuff like that. Okay, you're putting a battery into somebody's back, you're antagonizing little things, and then when stuff gets to a point where now things are actually spilled over outside of the booth, then people like to hold on. I'm just a journalist. I was just asking a question. I was just sharing my opinion. I mean, you can't blame me for anything that they did. That's just what they decided to do. I have nothing to do with that. They do that. Okay. This is not their culture. This is not their culture to speak on or have an opinion on. To be honest, to be very honest, you don't see us as FBA. You don't see us going to other cultures and talking about Bad Bunny and Latin culture, or going to any Asian culture and talking about whatever artists are popular going on there. And you really don't see a lot of real beefing that goes on mainstream, that is not only beefing, but it is promoted and maintained, except when it comes to our culture. Do you understand how many other artists have issues with each other all the time? Do you understand how many other artists get into little fights and scuffles and stuff like that all the time? And the mainstream media is very quiet about that. And I'm not just talking about white, it could be white artist, Hispanic artist, all of these different artists get into little scuffles and beefs and issues all the time. The mainstream, really lamestream media doesn't pick up on that. They don't pick up on that part. Now, when you got Drake beefing with Kendrick, now they pick up on that, but they pick up on it from an angle to instigate certain things. When you have Biggie and Tupac, when you have all of these other beefs going on, they emphasize that going on. And they don't just interview. They don't just put a spotlight. There's not like a unbiased reporting on the situation. It's not like, well, this is when this started, this is when this started, and this is what transpired before then. It's this one-sided antagonistic behavior that leads into other problems. So right now, it is very important for us to circle our wagons when it comes to anybody who has an opinion or anything like that to say. And as far as our culture, especially 2024, and I said this earlier this year, 2024 Foundation Black Americans is standing on business. So we standing on business this year, all right? And so we're going to be discussing that. What I want to discuss is a person, and I've made videos about it, and if you guys have watched me for a long time, we got 200 people in the chat room, less than 20 minutes. We have 200 people in the chat room. If you guys have watched me for any length of time, a year or so, if you watch me longer than a year, you guys know I cannot stand with a strong passion DJ Vlad. You guys know, I can't. I cannot stand nothing about DJ Vlad. I don't respect nothing about DJ Vlad. I don't listen to none of his interviews. I cannot stand. I can't. If some of y'all have seen me talk on DJ Vlad and his stuff, I can't. It is cringeworthy to me. He's blocked me on Twitter before. He's already blocked me on Twitter. I don't know if it's a thing I said before or if it's something I said recently. Okay. Can't stand him. Okay. Can't. And he's promoted because he's a part of the other people. So and I'm just being careful. He's a part of the other people. So he gets promoted. He gets promotions and protections and stuff like that. But in a recent situation, he's gone after a FBA sister who's essentially checked him on speaking on our culture. But before we do that, let me show you guys the reason I can't stand him. Let's build this case about DJ Vlad. Let's do that. Okay. So we got this right here, this article right here, and it kind of goes through a lot of the reasons why Black people, specifically Foundation Black Americans, have such an issue with DJ Vlad. And I like the way this is structured because it kind of goes in chronological order of the situation. Now, I don't know, up top is kind of saying some weird stuff. This comes from medium.com. Now, on Twitter, I said DJ Vlad is a villain. He is a villain. Now, it starts off, we're going to start off right here. His name is Vladimir. That's why he names himself Vlad. His name is Vladimir. Y'all, Vladimir is a villain name. His first name is a villain name. He needs to be playing some type of world destroyer in a Marvel movie. His literal name is Vladimir. That's a name, that's someone you would name a villain. Vladimir, and the last name, Lord have mercy. Lebovi, that's what I'm gonna say. Vladimir Lebovi, popularly known as DJ Vlad, is a host, interviewer, and former DJ from Kiev, Ukraine. So he's an immigrant. He's a tether from Ukraine. He's a unmelanated tether. That's what he is. Because he is trying to tether off our culture. So that is what he is. It says Vlad was born to a Russian, other people, let's just, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Family. He's a colonizer. He is. He absolutely is. Okay. Who moved to the United States when he was 5, ultimately settling in California. Vlad developed an interest in hip hop music as a teenager and tried to develop his career creating hip hop beats, but later quit when he failed to generate any success. So y'all know Vlad is not no real DJ. He is an attempted and failed DJ who just keeps the name DJ. He just keeps the name DJ, which is really a disrespect to any and all legitimate DJs out there for him to just keep this name. But let's continue. It says Vlad later found success DJing. No, he didn't. DJing and directing television series such as American Gangster and Ghost Ride the Whip. He wasn't really DJing though. But anyway, Vlad launched Vlad TV in 2008, initially uploading MP3 files and DJ mixtapes. Later that year, YouTube launched the Partner Program, designed for creators to earn money for their content. As a result, Vlad dropped all other endeavors and decided to focus on developing his YouTube brand. Going down, this is when these things are quotes, this is coming from a quote he's saying, or Twitter. Okay. So it's saying, quote, I was the first person to ever do that because I really don't have an outlet. I lived in the Bay Area in California, and there was no Africans on Canal Street over there. So it was really all I could do. The Vlad TV brand transitioned from uploading musical content to an outlet for hip hop video journalism. DJ Vlad established himself as what many refer to as TMZ of hip hop. The TMZ of hip hop, really? I've never heard anybody, even the people I know who like Vlad, I've never heard anybody refer to DJ Vlad as the TMZ of hip hop. I've never heard. Okay, but anyway, it says once he disclosed in an interview that his intention behind the new direction of the content was to, quote, conflate the relationship between hip-hop stars and the criminal underworld. So literally and let me pause it for a second. Okay, now let me just read this last part, because then he tries to cover the all things considered, DJ Vlad became a success, but without controversy. Let me just pause that for a second. Okay, that's agent talk right there. That's what an agent would say, talking about, I'm here to conflate the hip hop, which is a music genre. Hip hop ain't got nothing to do with a criminal underworld. And DJ Vlad says, I want to conflate and highlight any type of criminal element that may exist in hip hop. He would not be allowed to do that with anybody else's music. He's not going to be allowed to be all like, well, I want to conflate racism with country music. I want to conflate the difference between like the anti-blackness in the white country music, because country music comes from us. But I want to conflate. They won't. He would not do that with any other music. But this is what he's trying to do. He's trying to make hip hop, and he deliberately does this on his platform. He's been doing it for years. He's trying to create this tie, okay, and make it seem like it's in sync to say hip hop kind of goes into the criminal element, and the criminal element in hip hop are really tied together. If you really think about it, DJ Vlad and people of his ilk are the people who have really tried to rebrand hip hop into something that's not really revolutionary, into something that's not really positive and uplifting and motivating. He's tried to rebrand it into something that is criminal, and he's even admitted that himself. This is what he's done, and he would not be allowed to do this in anybody else's culture ever. All right, let's continue. It goes going down. It says, perhaps the earliest controversial incident to occur was in July 2008, when DJ Vlad covered a story on rapper Rick Ross's former career as a correctional officer, asserting that Ross created his public persona to be a major drug dealer and gangster, when in reality he was a former jail guard. Now, let's put a little bit more context into this. DJ Vlad, because I remember the situation, what he was really doing, he was not even dropping the correctional officer, which is not the same as a police officer. Correctional officer is not really the same as a police officer. And I believe it was like, what, I don't know if it was if he was a prison guard, because there's some reports saying that Rick Ross might have been a prison guard or something like that, so he would have a uniform or something. But it's not like he's out here pulling people over and giving people tickets. It's not like he's on patrol or doing anything like that. That's not what Rick Ross was doing. But that is the way Vlad was trying to make it out to be. He was trying to make it out to be. Now, this is Rick Ross. He's coming up and he's got this. He's, doing the gangster rap stuff, and, his persona is being real tough, and he's hanging around people who were a part of that life. And what Vlad essentially tried to do was Vlad was trying to make Ross seem like he was fed. He was trying to make Ross seem like, hey, Ross is really a cop if you really want to think about it. He was a former correctional officer, but Vlad was deliberately trying to paint a narrative that Rick Ross was a cop among his colleagues, so something could happen like that. That's what he was trying to do. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, we got some trolls in the chat room, but I see we got the mods on it already. So, I just got to say that to put it into context. Now it says, after Vlad was interviewed with the clips in which with is that, I think that's a C or a G. With the I'm assuming that's a G, with the glimpse in which he allegedly questioned the validity of the rapper's quote gangsta status, he was assaulted by Ross's entourage during an award show in Houston, Texas. So, not that this channel at all, period, ever condones violence, but just for context purposes, because we're doing some journalism here, so just for context purposes, I want to just show you, this is the picture of Vlad. He has a couple of cuts and bruises or something like that. Some people allegedly say he might have fell down. You know what I'm saying? He might have had a little something to drink. He might have fell down some stairs or something like that. Who we don't know if Vlad instigated the situation. It's a lot of questions out there that we are not sure of. Vlad might have pissed a lot of people off. I don't know who was Russia beefing with at that time. I mean, these are some things that we don't know, but this is a picture of, Vlad after he was allegedly touched by Rick Ross's people. We got 300 people in the chat room already, brothers and sisters. Y'all know what the deal is. Y'all know what we got to do. So this was the alleged situation. Okay. Yeah, and I only showed you that not to promote anything, but merely for context purposes, so we can all understand. Okay. But Vlad made it seem like this man was he was beat to near death. He made it seem like he was hospitalized. He made it seem like these people literally tried to take him out of this world. Like, he did the absolute most. Okay, he really did. He really, really did. Okay. Now, it says, according to a report in the Courthouse News, Vlad claimed that after he posted the photo on his website of Rick Ross in a uniform. Now, this is what he did. Because instead of just doing an interview, he literally tried to he posted a picture of Rick Ross in a uniform. For what? Why would he try to do that unless Vlad was deliberately trying to start something? Vlad was deliberately trying to start something. Now, this is not journalism. He's literally trying to instigate something, and then after that, if something ever did happen to Rick Ross, then he would have tried to have another interview, be all like, "Well, what happened to Rick Ross? I don't understand. Did you find out he was an agent? Oh my god!" That's what he would have done. Now it keeps saying, and he became and scenes is sending him threatening messages allegedly. As a result, Vlad asserted that Ross's entourage attacked him allegedly there, where he suffered 3 fractured bones in his face and a damaged eye socket. Ooh, oh wow! I mean, I don't know what to say about that. It says Vlad sued Ross for $4 million, but later settled out of court in 2010 for $300,000. Damn, didn't even get $500,000. So I guess you didn't really have the proof that you thought. Now here's another incident, right? Another incident that's going on. In November 2016, actor and rapper Orlando Brown sat down with DJ Vlad, detailing his former relationship with Raven-Symoné. Brown's response was widely controversial when asked to reiterate his involvement with his former co-star. Brown revealed a share of intimate details to DJ Vlad, and his bizarre behavior made him an instant target on social media. A few weeks later, Brown took to social media to blast DJ Vlad for not sharing the profits earned from the viral video. He says that that N-word, that nigga is a Mason. Excuse me. F him. He didn't even want to pay me. It says you ain't never had so many views in your life, on so many millions in your shit life, P-word ass nigga. When I see you, I'm gonna knock your ass out. So Orlando was really going off. Now, let me pause this for a good second before we continue to go to the next thing. This is another thing that they do. Okay, and we're gonna have to have this. We gotta have this conversation. Because there's a lot of other platforms. Now, I understand that DJ Vlad has a lot of backing. He has a lot of backing. But there's a lot of other platforms that a lot of people can go on to give interviews, to talk about their story, to talk about situations that happen. DJ Vlad, I'm going to be very honest, DJ Vlad is not paying anybody. Okay, there's been multiple people who said that. He's not paying them. If they receive any type of money, they receive it on the back end of their publicity going up from going on DJ Vlad's platform. But I want to be very clear, DJ Vlad is getting 100% of the benefits, everything. He's getting everything. Okay. This would never, ever, ever be able to happen if this was another culture. There's no way us as foundation Black Americans can go to Ukraine and discuss issues going on in Ukraine or Ukrainian artists or celebrities and have them on our platform, and we get all of the money and they don't get nothing at all. We don't break them off like, hey, I got millions of dollars. I'm gonna break you off something. I hope you come back just to show a level of respect. I want to, first off, we're just naturally, pretty much, really, to be honest, the most respectful people ever, period. Okay? I'll argue that with anybody. I'll argue foundational Black Americans are literally the most respectful people in the world. I'll argue that with anybody. Collectively, we are. We don't go anywhere and sit up there and try to appropriate anybody's culture. We don't go anywhere and disrespect anybody's culture, disrespect anybody's heritage, disrespect anybody's way of life. We don't go nowhere and do that. Everybody comes here to our land and does that to us. We don't go there and do that to them. So that's why I say that. That's my evidence for saying that. And not only would we, because just this is not our culture and the way we conduct ourselves, not only would we not do that, we would not even be allowed to do that. Do you think that any one of us as foundational Black Americans could go to China and discuss K-pop or whatever artist is popular right now and have several interviews with them and they not get no benefit out of it? We're just really reaping all of the benefits. We're colonizing all of the benefits off of them. And instead we make them look crazy. We send them into beef. We try to instigate certain things like that's going on with them, and we just sitting back in our little chairs in the dark, not saying nothing. We would first off not do that. Second off, we wouldn't be allowed to do that. We would not be allowed to do that. All right. So this is the moment in time when it comes to our culture, we got to clear all this up. We have to make sure we're clearing all of this up. All this stuff that, hey, we can't do it to them, but they can do it to us is over with. That's done. That's done. You should be paying homage just off the mere fact that you're even able to sit down and have these conversations. All right. Let's continue. We still got more to discuss. We still have more to discuss. So here's another situation. So I'm doing this to show you this is Vlad's character. So when people say things like they don't like DJ Vlad, and people are like, man, why y'all so tough on DJ Vlad? He ain't do nothing wrong. No, he does a lot. He does a lot of times. Okay. So this is the issue that people have with him. This is a pattern of behavior that he's displayed since essentially coming into the game. It continues to say the clip became hold on. All right. We're right here. The clip became one of the most viral moments on Vlad TV, ranking a nearly 1 million views. That was like his first like big thing. It says it was perhaps one of the first viral moments, but it wasn't the last. In December 2016, rapper Soulja Boy disclosed in a Vlad TV interview how he once protected himself during a 2008 home invasion. It says, quote, they got to block this. It says, one nigga ran to the front door. I hopped out. I started shooting, shot the nigga, shot his ass. All the niggas running to the door. This nigga on the floor I walked up to the nigga, took his mask off, looked at him. It says, looked at who it was, like, damn, shot this nigga again. He's screaming and shit. I shut the door. If you guys remember that, that's when Soulja Boy, he had his moment where he was all like, yeah, I shot him. Pow, pow, pow. Oh, yeah, his Soulja Boy was being extra. Soulja Boy was being extra or whatever the case. Okay. All right. If you guys do remember that, I'm just giving you the context. We got 400 people. Just about 30 minutes in, 400 people in this room. Y'all know what we got to do. Y'all know what it is. All right. So it continues to say, although Soulja Boy knew the person, he did not reveal his identity. Keep this in mind. Keep in mind. Although Soulja Boy knew the person, he did not reveal his identity when asked by Vlad TV. So Vlad is doing his like 48 first 48 interview and said, who was it? Who did you shoot? Who broke into your house? Who did it? Who was it? Was it an enemy? Do you want to shoot him again? Why are you hiding his identity? So Vlad was doing that, but Soulja Boy was like, man, I'm gonna speak on the situation. I ain't gonna really drop no names. Okay, keep that in mind. Soulja Boy did not want to drop any names. It continues to say, however, he did go into greater detail about the shooting than he initially did in an interview with Big Boy in 2009. His exaggerated explanation of events made his interview go so viral that it launched a social media challenge, becoming one of the most talked about moments on Vlad TV. So Vlad just reaping a bunch of benefits off this, just soaking a bunch of benefits off this way up, all the way up. It says, however, a few days later, the identity of the person was revealed in a Vlad TV interview. Okay. So Vlad didn't respect the fact that Soulja Boy didn't want to drop the name, and Soulja Boy didn't want to drop the name because he knew if he dropped the name or whatever, because Soulja Boy knew he was being extra, but Soulja Boy knew if he dropped the name, he would have the person he dropped would have been like, no, that's not how that went down. Hold on now, and then it would have been a thing. So Soulja Boy, he wanted to tell the story, but he didn't want the story to kind of leave the I guess the interview room. He didn't want the story to kind of spill out into, hey, well, hold on, what was all that you was talking in that interview though? He didn't want it to turn into that, which is why he didn't drop the name, even though Vlad tried to get a name out of him. But Vlad, after the interview, he went and he did his like private investigating digging so he could find the name. He wanted to find the name and drop the name so there could be beef with Soulja Boy and whoever this other person was. And then Vlad was then going to recapitalize off Soulja Boy in his beef. So this was all a plan. This was all a plan that Vlad had when he was interviewing Soulja Boy about the situation. Okay? Which Soulja Boy tried to prevent, but he couldn't. It says, rapper Droop, an artist on Soulja Boy's label, spoke out for the first time on the interview about the incident. Droop affirmed that he didn't try to steal from Soulja Boy, but instead things went left when he and the rapper were discussing money that Soulja Boy allegedly said he wouldn't pay. Okay, we're gonna get to the super chats in the I appreciate y'all. I see it. I see y'all. It says, since Soulja Boy's viral 2016 interview, the rapper and Vlad have not interviewed together again. In 2021, Soulja Boy expressed his displeasure with Vlad regarding his interrogation tactics and interviewing the alleged people who tried to rob him. So after this, we're gonna pause it because we got to break this down. We got to digest it. We have to digest it. All right. It says, quote, DJ Vlad, he called him a B word. Okay. DJ Vlad, you a B word. Why the F are you gonna go interview the nigga I shot? You gonna go interview the nigga that ran in my crib. You a P word ass nigga. After I let you come in my house and sit down, I gave you an interview. We really bonded. Come on, Soulja Boy, don't do that. We really bonded, and I gave you the interview, and you asked me that P word as S. Now he Soulja Boy really going off. Okay, I gave you a real answer. I told you the story. All right, let's pause it. Before we do that, let me get to some of the super chats real quick because we got a few of them. All right, shout out to Neva Neutral, shout out to you for the super sticker or super chat. Shout out to you. Shout out to Jay. Appreciate you, Jay. Culture Vultures need to cut the check. They do. They really do. Okay. And I'm really wanting to say this because this is not even just about him getting monetary benefit and not compensating the people he's done interviews with. Okay. This isn't even just about that. But shout out to you, Jay, for real. Tell it like it is. I appreciate you. Tell it like it is. We don't have to cosplay anyone else. Everybody else gravitate to our culture because it's the most noteworthy and versatile. That's in true, very, very true. It says everyone else has come to us for ideas and innovation. That's a fact. 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 All right. Now, let's go back. Let's go back into what he's to what the situation is. DJ Vlad, he was allowed to go in Soulja Boy's house. Soulja Boy had a situation in 2008 where somebody broke into his house and he had to shoot somebody. DJ Vlad went in there to further discuss this. Now, in the interview, he was DJ Vlad was kind of interrogating a little bit. And he was kind of like, are you sure? You know, who shot you? Like, he was kind of doing that a little bit, but Soulja Boy was kind of it says everybody okay. Man, we got some trolls in the chat. It's okay. It's okay. Soulja Boy was like, man, no, I can speak on the situation. I know who it was, but I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not going to say that because he knows for a fact that if he says it, then the other person going to be all like, okay, I probably wouldn't have said nothing, but since you're going to say my name and now my name going to be dirty in the streets because you got this interview which got a lot of views and my name not dirty in the streets and people calling me, now I got to say something. So the person, Droop, if he says something about Droop and not Droop, gotta say something. So when Droop say something, then Soulja Boy gonna say something. So Soulja Boy didn't want it to turn into that, which is why he was like, man, we can speak on the incident, but I don't really want to say no names. DJ Vlad did a whole bunch of private investigating and a whole bunch of research and found out it was Droop. And then he did an interview with Droop. And then Soulja Boy sitting up there like, dude, okay, I'll let you do this interview, and you wouldn't even be doing an interview with Droop had you not done an interview with me. Because people want to hear, I'm the Soulja Boy. People don't know who Droop is. I'm Soulja Boy. So I'm the reason why this is a hot topic anyway. And you doing one with him. That's kind of bogus. Because if you do one with me, then you do one with him, and then you pinning people against each other. And he has this thing that he does. This is the same thing he tried to do with Rick Ross. He has a little interview and he's all cool and everything like that. In the interview, he's asking little interrogating questions, which has gotten people locked up before. People played DJ Vlad's interviews in court before. But speaking on the beef, he does that. And then he'll go to the other person, be all like, well, you know, Soulja Boy said he shot you and he beat you up and then he took your watch. Is that true? Did he really do that? Oh, Droop said you didn't take his watch, and Droop said your mama fat and he's gonna slap you. So he's that type of person. DJ Vlad is the type of person who will talk to one person, be all like, okay, I ain't gonna tell nobody, and then he'll go to the next person, be all like, don't let him know it was me, but he said that you a bitch, and he said he gonna beat you up when he see you, but I didn't say nothing. And then he go back to the other person, he said he gonna wait for you outside. He said he ready for you outside. Don't let it be me. And then he gonna sit back and then just kind of rub his hands, do the Birdman hand rub, and rub his hands with his little camera. He's gonna record the whole situation and then be like, oh, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything. They're fighting. That's their beef. That's him. That's what he's gonna do. Mind you, this would never, ever, ever be allowed to happen in anybody else's culture. In nobody else's culture are you allowed to instigate certain things. Create, like, mind you, this is beyond stirring the pot. He's creating problems. Like the situation with Rick Ross. He's trying to create problems. That's why I said he's a villain. Because that's what villains do. He's moving like a villain. It's not like there's a beef and he's just commenting on the beef. He's literally trying to create problems. Now, yeah, we got 500 people in the chat room. 500 people. We are, and we still got a lot to go. We still got more to talk about. Y'all stay locked in. Please, as you guys are here with us, if you guys are new, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button as well, too. All right. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Because we got to go back. We just got to digest. We just got to digest, right? Okay. Then, now here's another situation. During January, hold on, let me scroll down a little bit more. Okay, it says during January 2020, DJ Vlad reached out to singer August Alsina via Twitter for an interview regarding his relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith. Alsina declined, citing rumors that Vlad was connected to the feds. And this is after people had already been privy to the fact that Vlad's interviews were being used by the federal government to get people locked up, or the law enforcement. It's known that prosecutors have used DJ Vlad's interviews to get people incarcerated. So after that, his name was really kind of dirty in the street. Like, I don't know. I mean, that's like me going to the police station to tell my rumors and to tell my beef. Ain't nobody really trying to do that. Who trying to do that? So August already knew, like, hey, off rip, man. I'm not saying that August is a gangster dude, but off rip, just our culture, we ain't gonna go to the police to try to tell a story, just to tell about our life and our rumors. That's not how we do. Okay, so he said he declined because of the connection with the feds, but went on months later to disclose his relationship in an interview with Angela Yee. Now, if you guys remember the situation, okay, going back, everybody, I'm pretty sure you all know about the situation with August Alsina and Jada Pinkett Smith and the entanglement and all that stuff, but that really got out when he went on Angela Yee, because she kind of broke away from like the Breakfast Club around that time. She was kind of doing her own thing, and Angela Yee had an interview with August Alsina by herself. And then that's when August was all like, yeah, me and Jada, we were in love. And he said something to that degree. And then that made a lot of people scratch their heads like, that's kind of like a weird thing to say about your friend's mom if y'all didn't do anything. And because there was already rumors about them doing stuff like that anyway. There had already been rumors about them doing stuff like that anyway. So it was like, okay, I guess. So, just to give you context on that, continues to say, seemingly bitter about not getting the exclusive, DJ Vlad took to Twitter, igniting the conversation and criticizing Alsina for being a hypocrite. So, Vlad is entitled as hell. And this is what happens when you let people, when you give people an inch, they'll take a mile. Vlad feels entitled, and this isn't the first or even, no, this isn't the only or even main incident in which, okay, so y'all stay locked in. He feels entitled to the fact that how dare you go, now, as much as people criticize Angela Yee, she is black. At least she's black. If that's as most as you can say. Now, I don't know too much about Angela Yee. I'm not like no big fan or a hater. I'm kind of neutral, but at least she's black. I will say that. Okay. So if he wanted to do an interview, and I will give him the fact that at least he went to a black person to do an interview. DJ Vlad's not black at all. Okay. So yeah, of course, why would he want to do that instead of going to a black person anyway? So then he says, he took to Twitter to call him a hypocrite. And this is a quote from him, as you can see right here. 6 months ago, Vlad, hey, August Alsina, let's do an interview. August, hell no, you're the feds. I'm going to tell on myself. 6 months later, during August's first interview, August let me tell on myself. Jada Pinkett and Will Smith. So Vlad is being like a passive aggressive little female about the situation. He's got his panties in a bunch because August Alsina gave Angela Yee the scoop before he gave DJ Vlad, even though he has no right or entitlement to any scoop or anything like that, especially after him being connected to the feds. And you can say you can say you might have had a bigger platform. He might have had a bigger platform. Arguably, I'm not sure what their platform sizes were at that time, but she ain't connected to no feds. Prosecutors are not using Angela Yee's interviews in court. They are using DJ Vlad's interviews in court. So yeah, August was like, hey, I'm not, I don't even telling myself I don't want to talk to you. Even if I didn't do anything that's going to get me locked up, even if I'm not going to say anything illegal, I don't want to talk to you. That's not our culture to go to the feds and be all like, yeah, I cheated or Jada cheated on me with, that's not what anybody who is from our culture would do, especially after seeing how you've done other people who've been on your platform bogus and shady. So it continues to say, during a 2020 interview, DJ Vlad with comedian DL Hughley, Vlad misquoted nation. Now this is like kind of the cherry on top, the big thing. It says also in 2020, during an interview with comedian DL Hughley, Vlad misquoted Nation of Islam leader Minister Louis Farrakhan's statement from his July 4th World Address. DJ Vlad claimed Farrakhan calls the other people, small hat people, Satan, and encourages people to pick up a rock and throw it at them. However, now this is not what the minister said at all. He did not say that. He didn't even allude to doing anything that would harm, put anybody in danger. He didn't allude to that. Now it says, however, in the actual speech, Farrakhan encouraged people to pick up, get this, the stone of truth, not an actual rock from a garden, but the stone of truth against so-called who are not real. That's what he said. Those are the words he's saying. So DJ is sitting up there like, oh my. Now, so you guys know earlier in this thing, if you guys remember, Vlad is a part of those other people. Remember? Vlad is that. So he's going to feel some type of way. Even though I don't really know if he's practiced on it or not, but that is what I guess his family is. Allegedly. Okay? So he's taking Farrakhan's thing. He's like, oh, that's hate speech. Because he was going around saying that that's hate speech, that was anti-Semitic, that was this, that was that. And he was taking his words, and it wasn't even taking it out of context. He was just literally saying things that the ministers said, which he did not say. He was putting words in his mouth. He was taking it out of context. So it continues to say, Vlad received widespread criticism from the Nation of Islam community and former allies such as Godfrey Noir and Nick Cannon, who felt that he misconstrued the minister's words to stigmatize him as calling for violence against small hat people, the small hat community. Okay. It says, quote, I feel like he disrespected hip hop. I feel like he disrespected Louis Farrakhan and he didn't say sorry. So I would like to personally, it says, I would like you personally, Vlad, I don't know why you would say that, to take off every video with Noor that's on your site. This is why y'all shouldn't have been going on there in the first place, but okay. I'm asking you that as a favor. I know I could have called you on the phone, but this is a public situation. So this is your boy Noir signing off. I don't want anything to do with you. So it was a bunch of people who were a part of the nation or who weren't a part of the nation, but they was all like, you know what? That's way disrespectful what you're doing. So a lot of people did not tolerate that. A lot of people just weren't going for that at all. Folks weren't going for that at all. So it says another one. This was from Nick Cannon. Vlad took an interesting turn in 2020. Vlad got out of pocket a little bit, walked on some landmines, and he misquoted. So when we see a platform that we don't own and someone's monetizing, making money on, and they don't operate off our code or what we see fit, we can't F with you. Nick Cannon. Now, Nick, that is true. He's telling the truth. Nick is telling the truth. That, and my problem with Nick is Nick be just so wishy-washy. Like he'll say something now, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's true, and then he'll just do he'll say something's true and then do something messed up like this. Okay, anyway. But the thing is that, and I'm gonna get to the Godfrey comment, and then I'm gonna pause it for a second so we can digest this aspect of that. Godfrey said it wasn't a misquote. A misquote is when you take one little word and then blah blah blah. He straight effing lied. All right, so he did. He lied on the minister. He did. It was a straight lie. A misquote is not like you're saying, oh, the minister said one or two. You can say one or two words that's misquoted. It's not like you took his words out of context either. You're literally putting words in somebody else's mouth. That's not a misquote, and that's not taking somebody's statement out of context. You are lying. And this is why, oh yeah, the trolls are mad. The trolls is mad. They trigger tonight because we deep in here. Okay. This, yeah, Nick Cannon be straddling the fence. He be doing that. Okay. A lot of them do. Here's my thing. Y'all know me. I will give credit where credit is due. All of them be kind of doing some wishy-washy stuff. This live is not about them, but they all had wishy-washy moments, all of them. So, okay. But in this situation, they are correct. They are correct in this situation. This is why it's important for us to have our own platforms, okay? Because when you come to our platform, and I'm not saying you got to come to a Black first platform where we talking about reparations and we talk about Black empowerment or politics. I'm not saying that, but there are so many other Black-owned platforms that you can go to that would be happy to do an interview with you, and their interview is not going to lead you into a situation where now you got to watch your back because you got ops out there looking for you, or you got police out there looking for you. Okay, this is why August Alsina, and August, he be, tripping sometimes and not putting on the cape for him or his situation, but I'm saying this is why he made the smart decision, that situation, by going to Angela Yee instead of going to DJ Vlad. If he was to only go to one, it would be better for him to go to her. All right. We need to do a thing where, first off, if you are not a part of our culture, there needs to be such a cultural barrier. There needs to be such a cultural gatekeeping mentality that if you're not a part of our culture, we're not going to sit here and talk to you about this situation. When in the military, when you have veterans who served in the military and they go to different like groups and they talk about their military experience and they talk about life after the military or whatever, they don't invite other people who haven't served. You wouldn't see other people who have not served in the military in a room of veterans. You wouldn't see that. They would be out of place. If somebody from outside of the military never served was to come in and be asking questions. They're not like an official reporter or anything like that, but they're coming in asking questions. They'd be all like, well, hold on, you're not even allowed in this conversation to be taking place. To be very honest with you, they wouldn't even be allowing the conversation to be taking place around them. They wouldn't even be allowing it to be taking place around them. All right. That wouldn't even be going on. There are certain things that happen first off, growing up, there are certain conversations adults would be having that kids would have to leave the room. There'd be your uncles, your aunties, your parents, your grandparents, y'all in the room speaking on family business. Oh, this is an adult conversation. You're going to have to leave the room. You are part of the family, but you're not an adult. This is an adult conversation. You're going to have to leave the room. That's one aspect of it. Another aspect of it, hey, we might have a situation in this house. There might be a situation in this house or in the family. A situation in the house or a situation, first off, a situation in the house, don't leave the house. Okay? That's what your parents would tell you. Hey, don't be going outside the house, going to school, going to your friends, talking about what's going on in this house. Don't be doing that. That's a part of our culture. Hey, you don't be any problem we got in this house. That stay in this house, and we're gonna solve it in this house. Don't go tell your teachers. Don't go tell your friends. Don't go tell nobody. All right. That's a part of our culture that we do that. And then you also have a family dynamic. You might have a family dynamic. Let's say one of your family members is sick. Okay, and they falling behind on bills, or something messed up happened, or there's a messy divorce going on. Let's say that. Whatever the family situation might be, and the family is discussing it, you don't go to nobody outside the family and discuss family business. I don't care if that's your best friend. I don't care if that's your little girlfriend, your little boyfriend. I don't care about that. I don't care if that's your teacher. I don't know. No, this is family business. This needs to be the sense of culture that we have when it comes to Foundation Black Americans, when it comes to our music, when it comes to hip hop. We have to look at hip hop, to be honest with you. We got to start looking at hip hop like hip hop is family business. So when Vlad asks us a question like, what do you mean? Who came? No, that's family business. That's family business. So, I'm gonna just go take that, and I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna discuss that with the family. I'm just gonna discuss that with the family. It's really just, it's not your business like that. Okay. So this is how we need to start handling things. So now, I'm not gonna lie to you, all three of them have done multiple interviews. They've done several interviews with DJ Vlad. Being honest, even though it's good that they cleared that up and said, Vlad, I don't want to do no interview with you. I don't want to do no interview with you no more, and I want you to take the interviews off. You shouldn't have been going to Vlad anyway. And it's not like Vlad was even paying you. You're not even getting paid to do these interviews. You just sitting down with him time after time after time after time after time. Okay? Then when he feels comfortable to do something to disrespect somebody, to disrespect the minister, now you want to sit up there and be all like, hey, you can't disrespect nobody. I'm going to be very clear and honest. It's good that you put your foot down to some degree, but you can't really blame. You have to blame yourself to a degree. You have to hold yourself accountable, because when you have a guest in the house, when the guests come in the house, the guests are supposed to know the rules. If you want your guests to take their shoes off at the front door, you tell them that. You say, oh, this new carpet, you got to take your shoes off. And they got to take their shoes off. If you want them to hang their coat on the rack or in the closet instead of throwing it on the chair, you let them know that. But you let them walk in the house, our house, with some muddy shoes. You let them throw their coats all over the place. You let them go in the kitchen cabinets and make stuff out the fridge and stuff like that. You set the precedent that this is their house and they can do whatever. And then when you set that precedent that this is their house and they can do whatever, then when they put their foot up on the table, then you want to get bucked like, hey, no, don't disrespect my house. Okay, But you got to understand that you've allowed the series of events to occur up until the point where that has happened. And it wouldn't have happened if DJ Vlad was shut down off rip. If it was all like, hey, nah, this hip hop, you not first black, you not second FBA, mainly FBA. You're not even from America. You're not even from America. You are not even from America. What are you doing? Okay, no. And it's not like DJ Vlad grew up being a producer or something like that, or he grew up in the music, like the hip hop era where he was like really connected to other hip hop people. He didn't. He just got a YouTube channel and just started having interviews. He didn't grow up like in the being a respected figure in the hip hop community. He didn't do that. So if there was no rite of passage, there was no right to sign. Who signed him off? Who approved him? Where was his stamp of approval at any time? He never had a stamp of approval at any time. So to be very honest, the people who have allowed Vlad to grow his profile, which is every single person who has done interviews with him and continues to do interviews with him, it's their fault. Don't tell me there's nobody else asking you to do an interview. You cannot tell me there is nobody else asking you to do an interview, but you keep going to Vlad. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but let's finish this article real quick. All right? We is packed in here. We got a packed house. Brothers and sisters, all right? So, it says now check this out. Check this out. Lord. And Vlad, and this is the thing, when you set the precedent that they can be disrespectful, they not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop at all. Okay. Vlad also released a statement on Twitter regarding the interview. Quote, this is from Vlad's Twitter. On Friday, Vlad TV posted an interview with DL Hughley where I referred part of Farrakhan's speech about small hats. After our interview was released, I was made aware that there was a later part in Farrakhan's speech where he clarified those points. Which that first off, let me just stop it right there. That's not what the hell happened. That's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. He did not do that. He did not clarify his points because the point that Vlad said he said is not what he said. He's putting words in his mouth. He tried to kind of save face by making it seem like, oh, I just took his statement out of context. I misquoted him, my bad. But no, he didn't misquote him because what he said was very clear. If somebody says you take the stone of truth and throw it, and somebody says, oh, are you saying take a stone and throw it? That's not the same thing. The minister didn't need to further clarify anything because his point was very clear. Vlad is the one who took it, remixed it, and then started spewing it as if it was anti-Semitic. So continuing with what his tweet was. It says, based on the new info, we removed the social media post. Although I don't agree with some of Farrakhan's statements, Vlad TV has always reported on people accurately and will continue to do so. Cough, cough, lie. It says, during the interview with Pierce's Panic Room, comedian Godfrey also disclosed that DJ Vlad reached out to him regarding the incident and revealed that Vlad would only apologize to Minister Farrakhan if he agreed to make an appearance on Vlad TV. Let me read that one more time. During an interview with Pierce's Panic Room, Comedian Godfrey also disclosed that DJ Vlad reached out to him regarding the incident and revealed that Vlad would only apologize to Minister Farrakhan after or if he agreed to make an appearance on Vlad TV. So that means Vlad essentially just got up there and lied, just told a lie. He straight up lied, and he would have stuck to it had people not continuously called him out. People had been calling him out. People been saying that, hey, that's not cool. That's not what you do. That's not cool at all. So he did that. And then he said, yeah, I know I lied on you. I lied on your name. And I tried to make it seem like you said something anti-Semitic. But I'm only going to apologize if you come on my platform so I can get some views, so I can get some money. The audacity of this dude. This is the colonizer mindset 100%. He feels like he can lie and then be all like, well, I mean, if you come on my platform so I can get views off you, because believe me, that would have broke records if he did. But if you come on my platform, I'm going to apologize then. Until then, you ain't getting no apology from me. That's what he's saying. That's what he is saying. This is why we have to gatekeep the culture. He should have never been allowed to get this far. He should have never, ever, ever been allowed to get this far. Now it's at a point where he just feel like, hey, I can say whatever, do whatever, hey, and I don't got to apologize for nothing. Now, when it comes to a black person don't even got to say nothing against Vlad's people. A black person don't even have to say anything untrue. Now, I want you to, let's pause this for a second. Let's pause this for a second. A black person, let's, for instance, since we were talking about him, let's talk about Nick Cannon. I believe it was Professor Griff. I believe he did that interview that was deemed anti-them folks, right? He did it. He did not say anything that was factually incorrect. He didn't. There was nothing factually incorrect that he said. Yet, they said it doesn't matter if what you said was the truth. We don't like you saying it. So now, first off, take it down. And now you got to go apologize to him, her, him, everybody. And we want some money. Remember that? Because Nick Cannon actually had to cut a check for them, for their community. He was sitting down with rabbis, signing checks, taking away from all of his many kids, signing checks for them. And what he said was not even factually incorrect. And the second they said, hey, we don't like it, we want you to apologize and money. Okay? Another thing, Kyrie Irving too, that's a good point. Kyrie literally did not say anything. He didn't say anything. He shared a link to a movie. They all like, first off, take it down. And kind of we want some money too. We want some money too. For not what you said, but something that you could have said. So we want some. Every single time something like that happens with them, I can give you example after example after example after example. They don't just want an immediate apology. And you don't think you can slide with apologizing one time. Don't think that. You got to do the walk of shame. And this is really, to be very honest, it kind of really goes into like a buck breaking thing. If we really go deep into the history of it, it kind the way the dominant society does like the walk of shame with black people, in particular black men, it kind of goes into like the buck breaking aspect, where, yeah, now we really want you to kind of emasculate yourself a little bit. We want you to bend the knee and kind of kiss our shoes a little bit. We want you to show to the world how apologetic and subservient you are to us. It gets into a buck breaking thing that they do, and very particular with black men. Now, there's situations where black women done that. I think, what's her name? Whoopi Goldberg. You guys remember that? I think it was last year or the year before. I think it was the year before, where she said something that they was all like, no, Whoopi, now you kind of have to do the walk of shame too. So when you offend their people, and what's offensive to them changes by the day. When you offend their people, you got to do the walk of shame and cut a check. Vlad gets to sit here and lie, tell a lie, a blatant lie, not a mischaracterization, not a misquote, not taking somebody's words out of context. He gets to straight up lie and say, I'm not going to apologize. I don't care. I'm not going to apologize unless you come on my platform. And if I get a lot of money and I get a lot of views from that, then yeah, I'll say sorry. Until then, no. He gets to lie and then be all like, an apology, I'm not really, I'm cool. I'm cool on an apology. Black people don't get to tell the truth. Black people don't get to share a link, tell the truth, have a private conversation, have a difference of opinion without doing a walk of shame. But they get to sit here and lie on us and then be all like, the apology be damned. Y'all doing too much. This is literally where we are. Unless we stop this right now. Unless we stop this now, this is where we are and this is where it's going to be. So this is why it's important. Now we're gonna get to the situation with the other sister about the Drake and Kendrick beef real shortly. Okay, there was some more stuff about Vlad and other stuff to be honest, but Vlad, I covered what I really wanted to cover when it comes to the history of Vlad. Okay. So now we're going to get into the Kendrick and stuff. Exactly. That is a privilege. Now, don't say that's a privilege, because if you say that's a privilege, then you're going to have to do the walk. You can't say you're better than them, and you can't say they're better than you. You can't say you have privileges over them. You can't say they have privileges over you. Nothing you say is correct, and it changes by the day. That's literally how it is. Now, going into the situation with Now, hold on. Before we going into the situation with a good brother K Dot and Drake, everybody knows, and I said this before earlier. I'm waiting to do a podcast after. I'm very, very certain that Kendrick is gonna drop something else, and I'm pretty sure Drake is done dropping anything. He seemed tired. His last track. He seemed tired. He seemed like he kind of was trying to throw hints like, Kendrick, please, can we stop? Like, he seemed like he was on that type of energy. So I'm assuming this beef is kind of wrapping up. It's just up really to Kendrick's discretion of when he wants to stop bullying Drake, because that's what it is. It's not even a beef. He's just like punching down on Drake. So whenever Kendrick wants to stop, I guess it's gonna stop. Because Drake ain't doing nothing but blocking. That's all he's doing right now. But if you guys don't know, Drake is half, I think his father is FBA, but his mother is a part of DJ Vlad's community. So there's a little interesting dynamic with that too. So you're seeing a lot of people from those groups, those folks, kind of looking at Kendrick a type of way, because Kendrick is standing on business. He's standing on business. Okay. So much so that it's kind of rubbing people from their community a certain way. Check this out. Look at this. Is Kendrick creeping towards anti-Semitism? Just asking, LOL. And she's not asking. And if you listen to any of Kendrick's songs, Kendrick ain't said nothing about Drake's other half to that degree. Okay, he's not said anything that you could decipher as anti. He hasn't, not at all. But it's Drake is getting beat so bad, it's kind of rubbing them the wrong way. To be honest, their community is like, I don't know, man, because damn, Drake getting beat so damn bad that he got folks saying it's a hate crime. Drake is getting beat so bad they run into the ADL. Drake is getting beat so bad that they saying, I'm sure this is kind of illegal. I mean, he dropped 4 disses in a week. Like, this got to be a law or something like that. This is not legal. Come on. This is like, I think this is a hate crime. You know, what is this? Like, that's how bad he's getting beat. He's getting beat that bad. Folks are sitting up there trying to make the argument that it's a hate crime, okay, against his community. He's getting beat. People in his community like, damn, man, I don't feel safe going outside no more. He's traumatizing his whole community. Kendrick is not intending to, because that's not his intent. But Kendrick is sitting up there being a boogeyman to a lot of other people. All right, but just to keep this in mind, that they've been kind of, and this is just one of many tweets, but they've been kind of saying little things about Kendrick. That other community is starting to kind of like throw little subs and jabs and create what this tweet is not a joke. It's framed as a joke. But it's not a joke. This tweet and other similar tweets like it is made to create traction, to have the narrative out there that Kendrick is kind of being anti-Semitic. This is that tweet. She's saying LOL because she knows it's completely absurd. She knows how ridiculous it is, but this is to create traction so people start to retweet this, and then people make another similar tweet, and then people make a tweet and all of this stuff. So now it's starting to become a thing where now people are starting to really take serious the possibility that Kendrick is being somehow anti-Semitic. So I'm just letting you guys know, watch out for that, because that community is kind of trying to throw little shots at Kendrick right now. All right. So after that, DJ Vlad, who is a part of that community, the community that's already kind of trying to say something against Kendrick, Kendrick's last beef is not like us. So DJ Vlad goes on and he says, Kendrick's quote, not like us, needs a better mix. It takes away from the song, which Vlad, out of millions and millions of people, has the complete opposite opinion of. At this point, Vlad is hating because a lot of people in his community are kind of saying something against Kendrick. Okay, I just want you, and I showed you that tweet to let you know this isn't necessarily, well, that's just one person's opinion over another person's opinion, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. This isn't really just that. This is the fact that that other community is feeling that the way Kendrick is whooping ass is a little bit too much. They feeling that. Okay, they feeling a little sting when they sit down. Like Kendrick said, not sit down. Hold on, let me rephrase that. They feeling a little burn when they walk, because Kendrick said he was whooping feet. Kendrick is out here whooping feet. He whooping Drake's feet so bad that when they putting their shoes on, they feel a little sting. So that's what they are like, I don't know. My feet burn. I don't know what Kendrick is doing, but he got to stop. Okay. So this situation has nothing to do with Vlad, and Vlad doesn't have any right to speak on that situation. So a sister checked him on that. saying, you are white. This is a black folk affair. That's correct. That's true. That's true. That's very, very true. His opinion don't count. It don't count. It don't count. If there were two Asian artists beefing with each other, he wouldn't even be making a comment on it. Notice that it's only when it comes to our culture do people who are outsiders feel like they get to come in and be all like, well, that's just my opinion. Oh, I'm not from your lineage. I'm not from your heritage. I'm not from your culture. But I just feel like I have something to say, so I'm going to say it. It is only our culture do they do that to. They don't do that when it comes to anybody else's culture. You don't see DJ Vlad commenting on Bad Bunny and Jennifer Lopez. You don't see them talking about them, or Shakira, whatever her name is. Shakira. You don't see him doing that with them. You don't see him doing that when it comes to the Asian community. You don't see him doing that when it comes to beefs or anything that's going on with it when it comes to the white countryside. You don't see him doing that then, but you see him doing that when it comes to us. So yeah, it is, and I'm glad this sister, because this sister's standing on business. This sister's all like, no, this is our business. You damn sure don't got no right to sit up there and be throwing little disses at Kendrick. So then Vlad, he pulls out his inner Karen, and Vlad goes on and he says this. Wait, so a professor at Princeton, mind you, he tagged Princeton. Okay? He tagged Princeton because he wanted Princeton to see this. Now, mind you, these tweets have gotten millions of views. So it's a very high chance, which is why he tagged him. It's a very high chance that he knew Princeton would see this. Okay. So he says, a professor at Princeton is telling me that a white person shouldn't be allowed to voice their opinion about hip hop. Is that how you interact with your students? Now, this is such I'm gonna be honest, this is such a bitch made move. It really is. And excuse my language if there's any kids watching, but it really is. This is such a passive aggressive sissy bitch move he's doing. Because this ain't got nothing to do with her students. This ain't got nothing to do with her job. This ain't got nothing to do with that at all. This is about her saying that as a grown man who's not from the culture, he shouldn't be sitting up there voicing his opinion. It's not even, she didn't even say he can't voice his opinion. Let's go back to what she exactly said. She said, this is a black folk affair. You essentially saying you not gonna get it. It's not for you. It's not about you. It's not about you. This is essentially what she's saying, really, is this family business. This is family business. And Vlad went on, essentially started snitching. And he went like, tag Princeton, come on, you see this? This is one of your teachers, right? You gonna let her say, I feel like this is reverse racism, Princeton. You gonna let this slide, Princeton? So then she says, what I'm saying is that you put your opinion in the discussion that's not needed. This conversation is and should center black people, not you. And you have colonizers and culture vultures constantly trying to make themselves out to be the center of attention, which is what she's saying. She's not saying you don't have a right to have an opinion. That's not what she said. But is not your concern, is not your business. You don't see me going to a room full of medical doctors and voicing my opinion in a room full of surgeons, and I'm not a surgeon. Well, I just think that maybe if you guys, cut a little bit deeper, you would have more room for your elbow. Like, I'm not a surgeon. What would it be for me to have my opinion or to voice my opinion on that? if you wouldn't go to a military camp and voice your opinion on a military procedure or a military mission. You wouldn't do that. You're not from the military. When generals are in the room discussing war tactics, they don't let people. Well, I'm not a general. I'm not a general, but I I do work on the cars on the field, so I just want to give my opinion. No, you don't get to give your opinion. No, this is a room for the generals. You don't have the general experience. You don't belong in this conversation. That's what they would tell you. So that's essentially what she's saying. So then he goes and says, don't try to change your words. I'll be reaching out to at Princeton about this Monday. So this is the second time he's tagged Princeton. He's tagged Princeton the second damn time. So then she's going on. Let me move this out way so you can see it. She's going on and saying, semester is over. My contract has been completed. But thanks for trying to bully me out of a job for centering black people because your feelings are hurt. Very retaliatory, huh? Nice tactic. Like this, Vlad is literally going out of his way to get this sister fired from her job. He's going out of his way to get her fired from her job because she said that he's not black and it's black business. Which is, he can't say it is his business. He can't say he is black, but he's sitting up there saying, how dare you say that to me? I am entitled to all of y'all business, and now you're going to face punishment. Now, had the roles been reversed and they was talking about Irish business and a black person, which they claim you can't claim Irish if you're black, which is not true. But if it was their business, and you as a black person said, well, I want to share my opinion, and they said, no, this is our business, and you can't speak on our business, you wouldn't be able to turn to nobody. They would have said, well, you know what, you should just mind your business. When it comes to black people, you don't get to turn to nobody when you're trying to stick your head in places it don't belong. You get your hand slapped, and then you get told you need to pay them money. So then Vlad again says, it's called, quote, permanent record. Every university has one. I went to Berkeley myself. People spew ignorant and bigoted comments at you publicly. Like, look at how far he's reaching. Ignorant and bigoted comments. What was ignorant and bigoted about what she said? People spew ignorant and bigoted comments at you publicly and then act like they're getting bullied when they get a response. Typical victim mentality. Sounding like an alt-right thing right there. Ain't that what the alt-right and them folks be saying? Oh, stop that victim mentality. Anytime they essentially try to use their privilege, they weaponize the system of white supremacy against you, and you call it out, they say, well, that's victim mentality. Says, typical victim mentality. Go ahead and take that quote, and this is the third time. This is the third time he's tagged Princeton. And take that Princeton out of your profile, sweetie. You just admitted it's not even true anymore. LOL. So then she says, sweetheart, before I was a professor at Princeton, I graduated from Princeton, LOL. So what is you really saying? Okay. Then I'm telling you again, this is the fourth time. Vlad he's literally not making a tweet without tagging Princeton. And he's doing this so she can be fired permanently. He just said it in a tweet before. Good luck being a professor at Princeton again. I doubt the university supports their faculty telling non-black students to shut the F up about anything hip-hop related because their skin color. First off, this don't count into that because she's not talking to a student at a university. She didn't say anything negative about your skin color. She didn't tell him to shut up. She says, "Oh, I mean, it's you essentially she's saying it's not your business. It's not your business." So for you to feel like the beat didn't mix with the song, well, you're not going to get it. It's not your business. It's not your culture. So no, you're not going to get it. And he's turned himself into the Karen, into the victim. And he's sitting up there essentially snitching and essentially, you know how the Karens be calling the police, oh my God, it's a black person gonna hurt me. That's what he's doing. Every single tweet he's making, he's pressing and she's bullying me. That's what he's doing. This is literally the 4th time in a row. And still in her responses, she's not even insulting him in her responses. She's essentially being all like, you is really tripping. You really doing the absolute most. So then she says, and none of this stuff counts because he's all like, I'm sure they doubt the university saying that about their faculty. But the thing is that you're not a student at the university. She's not talking to a student. She's talking to another grown man who's not or has ever been a student or faculty at Princeton. Then she says, which is not even what I said. I find it funny that you specifically chose to respond to me, belittle my academic background, and threaten my job when others responded to you in a much harsher way. Very interesting and telling. But you got it. Like, I mean, and to be honest, he had thousands. And when I say thousands, I do mean thousands of responses. Not just in the quote tweets, but he had it in the comment section as well. People were screenshotting and responding. He had thousands of responses, and he particularly saw what he thought was a weakness in one of the responses, which is her academic profession, and he decided to strictly go after her because he thought that he could weaponize his privilege to punish her when it comes to her career. He thought that out of all of the thousands of people who made much more severe and harsher responses to what he had to say, he thought that he was going to be able to weaponize his privilege and ruin her career, which is why he pinpointed her and went after her specifically. Now, then he says, and this is the 5th time, okay? He says, it's exactly what you said. You're backtracking now. I never belittled your academic background. Just the opposite, actually. I'm pointing out someone claiming to represent a top Ivy League university should be held to high standard. You're threatening your own job by publicly spewing bigotry while representing at Princeton in your bio. I responded to you because of all of the other responses you are from trolls and fake accounts. You may want to think about getting a burner account like all the other bigots do. That's how they keep getting fired. That's how they keep getting from being fired. That's how they keep getting from getting fired. Okay. Oh boy. Lord have mercy. So this is Vlad, y'all. That's Vlad. Going back and forth, trying to weaponize his privilege to get a woman fired for a tweet. A tweet. And notice this is a tactic that they're using now, especially with other things going on in the world. Notice that what their tactic is that anything that you say to them that they dislike is bigotry. Now, as a black person, I'm talking about being a descendant of a slave, having your ancestry be forced inhumanely to build an entire country and then subjugated and oppressed ever since to this very day. We don't get to sit here and just be able to make up anything and call it bigotry. She said, hey, this is not your business. This is our business. Oh, that's bigotry. What? That's bigotry? That's bigotry? For you to say that's not true. Now, hold on, though. When Nick Cannon was speaking on something that y'all thought wasn't his business to speak on, y'all said that was bigotry. So Nick Cannon can't speak on y'all business. Okay, well, hold on. So when Kyrie Irving, when he shared a documentary about their history, y'all said that that's not his business to speak on. So when they say something, when people from our community says something about your community that y'all dislike, y'all say, well, you know what? It doesn't matter. If we don't like it, it's bigotry. If we don't like it, y'all, if we feel like y'all don't have a right to say it, y'all don't have a right to say it. Don't matter how true it is. But we don't have the same right, essentially, to them to say, hey, this our business. Oh, how dare you say this not my business? That's bigotry. You're oppressing me. Really? This feels like oppression. This is oppression to me, really. This is how far he had to reach. This Vlad is literally trying to remix the narrative and say he's being oppressed. He's saying he is facing bigotry because she said this is a black folk affair. This is what he is claiming is bigotry. He would never do this with nobody else, but he's doing this with us in our culture. Because for too long, we've allowed other people to even make comments on it. We need to get to a point where it needs to be a hard reset. It needs to be, we taking everything on the table, we using our whole elbow and we clearing the whole table. We need to clear the whole table. Ain't nobody saying nothing. We resetting this, we building this from the block up. Everybody got to get reclassified now. Everybody's credentials got to be checked through now. Everybody got to restart now. That's what it needs to be. Okay, because we've allowed this thing where now y'all feeling entitled to the point where y'all gonna punish somebody from our culture because she's saying you can't get in. It's beyond. It's literally beyond the you're invited to the cookout. It's beyond if you tell me I'm not going to the cookout, I'm not invited to the cookout, you not invited to the cookout. That's how they feel. So this is why the last few years or so, we've really been tightening up on our culture, on the pride in our culture, who gets to speak on our culture, who gets to represent our culture. We've been clearing that up, and we've been checking other people who've been letting folks in. We've not only been saying, hey, ain't no more cookout, we've been side-eyeing and checking everybody who's been sitting up there like, well, he can come, he cool, Eminem cool, I like him. We've been checking all of them. We've had a cultural not a reset. We've had a cultural awakening. That's the best way I can put it. We've had a cultural awakening where now we sit up there standing on business like, hey, we're not just letting that slide. Hey, shut up. Now it's at the point where we sit up there, we didn't like it at first. And this is how power is. This is how power moves. This is why we pridefully say we're foundational Black Americans, because when we reclaim and we identify something that we want to be called culturally, that is how power moves. It creates a snowball effect of power. Okay, now you're seeing different domino effects and chain reactions of us expressing and utilizing power. Okay, we are showcasing our power by first, which is why it was very important, by classifying ourselves as something that we want to be called, as our own thing. When we did that, that was a power move to do that. Then within that, then we create our own verbiage in our own language. I'm gonna be very honest, and it might rub some people the wrong way. It might. But using the word tether, that's a power move. That's a power move, because when we create our own verbiage to express and clearly decipher certain issues in certain categories of people, when other people, and you can go in all history, when they branch off, because that's essentially what we've done. We've always been, if you call us Negroes, we Negroes. If you call us African Americans, we African Americans. But we decided to essentially segregate ourselves culturally, because before we were very integrated, or we've allowed other people to participate. We weren't really integrated, but we've allowed other people to participate in our culture freely. But we've now segregated ourselves culturally from everybody else. And then with that, when we created our own names and our own like terms of what we refer to ourselves as, then we started to create terms to what we refer to other people as based off their behaviors. Now, every non-FBA is not a tether, let's be clear, but it's based off their behavior is why they get identified as that, okay? Because we got some riders, but I'm talking about the tether class of them, all right? These are power moves. When the fact that we've been emphasizing and focusing on specificity in the terms of language that we use on the regular, these are power moves, and this creates a chain reaction of other power moves. So now it's to a degree where now they was able to come in, and previous generations wanted non-black people in the room. And then there were some who wanted to give a cool non-black person ass. They wanted to invite them to the cookout. Now it's at a point where ain't no cookout. The cookout is, y'all not even supposed to know we having a cookout. How you know we have a cookout? Who the mo? Who said that? That's how we looking at it now. So now it's gotten to a point where we've expressed so much power, which is also what Kendrick is doing. Because Kendrick, and I'm gonna talk about this on my when I do the podcast on it. When I do the podcast, Kendrick is expressing in his raps a sense of cultural power that he has over Drake. Kendrick is full FBA, Drake is half FBA, and Drake is from Canada. Kendrick is from Compton. So Kendrick has a sense of cultural power that he's expressing and using and weaponizing against Drake in this beef. Okay. And this is starting to create, like I'm saying, it's a chain reaction of us revitalizing and reigniting and utilizing our cultural power. So because of that, is rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. So when the sister Miss Jenkins, when she expressed cultural power to say, hey, this ain't your business, which ain't really bigoted. It's not bigoted. It's not really even mean. It's first off, it's Twitter. And then she's saying it's not your business, which is true. He's not saying it's not correct. But just the fact that we are expressing cultural power over anybody, especially them, they have a big issue with it. That's why the second he expressed any sort of cultural power, she expressed any sort of cultural power, he went to telling. He went, Princeton, hold on, Princeton. You see what she's Princeton, come on, Princeton. That's what he did. Because they're not used to people expressing this cultural power. He wasn't even used to with Nick Cannon, when Godfrey, when DJ when DL Hughley, when they was all like, hey, you not cool for that, for what you said about the minister, so we not going on your platform no more. When we said that was a sense of cultural power that they have really never been used to us expressing. Okay, they've never been used to that. So it's got them pulling, well, DJ Vlad is bald as hell, but it's got them pulling their hair out of their heads. So much so that when they saw the way that Vlad, when people saw the way that Vlad was trying to weaponize his privilege against this sister, the culture locked in. And the culture was beating everybody, dragging Vlad. Vlad was getting so drugged these last day or so. He was getting so drugged. I'm talking about not just on Twitter. He was getting dragged on Twitter. He was getting dragged on Instagram. He was getting dragged on YouTube. He was getting dragged on Facebook. He was getting dragged on TikTok. Anywhere where he could be getting dragged, he was getting drugged. Anywhere, I'm going to say it again. Anywhere where he could be getting dragged, he was getting drugged. So much so to the point where now we flipped the script. Now we got them apologizing to us. It used to be where now they doing the kind of, when we said something against them, and then we had to do the walk of shame. Now we got them to a degree doing the walk of shame. Check this out. This was today. He says, since it's Monday, let's clear the air and state that I never, listen to this, I never had any intention on filing a complaint to Princeton. Notice, he's not tagging Princeton anymore. Y'all notice that? He's not tagging Princeton anymore. Just keep that in mind. At first, it was every single tweet he was making. It was Princeton. Notice he's not tagging Princeton anymore. It says, I never had any intention on filing a complaint to Princeton for a former professor, Morgan Jenkins, saying that white people aren't allowed to comment on Kendrick Lamar's music, which is not, he's still being, this is still bitch made, because that's not what she said. She did not say white people are not allowed to make a comment on it. She's essentially said, you don't get it because you not black. This ain't your business. So yeah, you ain't gonna get it. Okay, now mind you, and that's why I went through the whole thread. Mind you, he tagged Princeton 5 separate times. At least. And who's to say he didn't already reach out? But I'm talking about publicly. It was Princeton. I can't believe a professor at Princeton. I can't believe that you would say in this, if you're a professor at Princeton, you will never be a professor at Princeton again. Now he's sitting up there saying, oh, guys, I was mad, but I really wasn't really going to go through with it, though. After he's already had several tags at Princeton. He's the one who bought up Princeton in the first damn place. She didn't say nothing about her job. He did. So he's trying to walk it back. Then she says, she trolled me, I trolled back. She checked you. She didn't really troll you. She checked you. She trolled me, I trolled back. At the end of the day, it created an interesting discussion about race relations in America. No. Ain't really nothing to discuss. Ain't really nothing to discuss. It says, I will be discussing it further in my future interviews. So now Vlad is essentially trying to capitalize off this situation. Now he's going to be like, I really was just joking. I was joking the whole time. I was joking. And I really was never going to say anything. He's already snitched. That's like somebody calling 911 and saying, this person is attacking me. Please send somebody to come help me. Somebody is attacking me. And then when the police get there, be all like, well, I really wasn't going to file a report. You called them, though. You called them. He already sent message to Princeton by tagging them in a post that's gotten millions of views. And he's tagged them not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 5 separate times. So he wanted Princeton to fire her. He wanted Princeton to essentially say, because of the speculation, and he's using little dog whistles, anti-white. Oh, do you talk to your students like this? Oh, this is bigotry. He's using little dog whistles, and he's trying to weaponize his privilege to Princeton. And he wanted Princeton to come out with a public statement saying, we have permanently disconnected our relationship. We will no further do any business with Morgan Jenkins as a professor. Princeton, we do not condone any form of bigotry to our students. We have a fair and respectful relationship with the staff and that's what his intent was. Let's be very clear with that. That is 100% what his intent was. So essentially, this is really a half-ass, watered-down ass apology. But notice he now since he said this publicly, he can't really he gotta essentially let it go. He has to now essentially let the situation go. He can't go he can't go through with it anymore. Now he has to backtrack, like, oh no, Princeton, don't, because he knows now, because we've expressed such cultural power over him. He knows now that, hey, if Princeton does let her go, oh, it's gonna be terrible for my brand. He didn't think that the culture was going to lock in the way we have. He didn't think that. So now he knows, like, oh my God, if she does get let go by Princeton, it's going to be hell to pay for me. It's going to be hell to pay. I'm not going to be able to live that down. So that's why he was like, oh, it was a joke. I never really was going to do it. It was a joke. She was trolling. I was trolling. That's just what it was. Now he's trying to essentially, even though it wasn't he didn't apologize, but he's doing some splaining now. He's not apologizing. It's not the walk of shame yet. We haven't gotten there yet. We're getting there. Because I remember with the minister, he said, I ain't going to apologize, because that's his disposition. Now he's saying, oh, it was a joke. I never really meant no offense, no harm by it. Ha ha ha. It's just a joke. So we're starting to see the change of behavior in Vlad and other people like him, because now he realized the culture ain't playing no games with you. The culture ain't playing no games. She said you can't speak on it, so you shut up. Ain't, to be honest, the nerve of you thinking that you get to go back and forth with her, is some crazy audacity. We got yeah, he's essentially that. You're right. Somebody in the chat room, he's doing damage control. I thought we had another super chat. Hold on. Damn, I can't see it up here. It's not popping up yet. Okay, there it is. I don't know why it's that. Oh, okay. Anyway, shout out to Herc Owen. Says, shout out to you, brother. Met you at the museum. Oh, okay. And it was fortunate to get a quick photo with you. You with Tara and Dewan B. Proud of your new pocket. Thank you so very much. Now we glitching. Thank you so very much. Thank you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the Cash App. Thank you so very much. Yeah, we're not playing no games. We're not playing no games. And this is the precedent that sets the chain reaction. One domino knocks down another domino. And the thing is that when one domino knocks down another domino, the momentum of the dominoes, one domino can knock a bigger domino down. Now, domino 1 can't knock down domino 10 because domino 10 is too big. But if domino 1 knocks down domino 2, which is a little bigger, and then 3, which is a little bigger than that, and 4, which is a little bigger, domino 9 can knock down domino 10. But it starts with domino 1. Domino 1 was us identifying our own lineage culturally. That was domino 1. And once we did it, a lot of people was hating. A lot of people said it was never going to catch on. A lot of people said we were wasting our time. Y'all ashamed of Africa. A lot of people gaslit us, but that was domino 1, and we stood strong on that. Now we're at the point where after we started to plant seeds, now we're starting to see the fruits of our labor. Now the fruits of our labor is starting to come in. Now we're knocking down the bigger dominoes. Now we're checking people. Now whether people use the term FBA or not, now the precedent of our cultural power is starting to resonate with the community. It's starting to resonate. Then you got interviews of people from foreign lands being all like, hey, you can't talk on Black America like that. That power is starting to become contagious, and it's starting to resonate. Okay. So we're at this stage now. All right. Which is why it's important. that in DC, we're coming up next month. It's a big deal. Let me show you guys real quick what the GoFundMe of that is. I'm gonna show you real quick what the GoFundMe of that. Come on. No, that's not what I meant to do. All right. Now, the GoFundMe of that, you guys can see it, right? Oh, no. Can't see it, of course. I didn't turn on. Come on now. I wasn't having these issues before. Come on. Come on now. All right. Now, as you can see, we've reached over $20,000. We're almost at 21,000. Okay, so we got a little bit over a month, which we can do. Okay, we damn near halfway there right now. So shout out to every single last one of you all. I'm gonna keep my word. I'm still gonna do the business promotion thing for everybody who does that. Is this no? This isn't a meeting. This is a rally. So it's a rally. So you can just show up to the rally. You know, if Vlad got something to say, he can say it. Vlad don't want to touch me. I'm gonna tell you right now. Vlad don't want to see me. He really don't. And then not that I would do anything physical, because of course I would not do anything physical. I'm talking about an intellectual battle. Let me make that very, very, very clear. I'm speaking intellectually. He does not want to see me intellectually. Lord, let me say that, because he's like, that's bigotry. You're threatening to hurt me. I'm speaking intellectually. That is it. But I mean, it's coming up, y'all, next month. And this is another power move that we're making. This is another power move. The first rally was a power move. The second rally is going to be a bigger power move, more preparation, more people there. All right. So we're already we're already getting the volunteers and all of that stuff, the details and stuff like that. We're already getting that done early. We didn't have that time last time, but we do this time. So shout out to every single last one of you all. And it's very important that you all participate. It is very important that you all show up, because this is how we start to resonate and expand our cultural power, and to make our cultural power more potent than it already is. This is how we do that with situations like this. Exactly. Shout out to Tori. The last expo was a power move that people did not think we were going to be able to make. Remember the last expo, people are like, y'all not going to do that. There ain't nobody going to show up to that. Y'all wasting y'all time. Thousands of people showed up out the blue, really. Thousands of people showed up. So you can only imagine what this is going to be like. So yeah, that's a power move, my brothers and sisters, and we're going to keep making them. It just feels great to be a Foundation Black American. It really do. Brothers and sisters, we've been on here. We've been chopping this up, and this is the way we get rid of these culture vultures. This is the way we cancel these culture vultures, by expressing our cultural power. Okay, by merely the fact that we sitting up there checking them out the door. And when that sister checked him, and then the community, because it would have been one thing if the sister checked him and then he went to Princeton and then he snitched and she lost her job. That would have been an unfortunate story. But the fact that she had the community to back her up, because that's how she won. Really. Because Vlad was trying to weaponize his privilege against her. But since the community backed her up so much, it made Vlad back off. And Vlad was like, oh my God, it was just a joke. I'm sorry, it was just a joke. Vlad had to back off because the community had her back so much. So this is why we need to strengthen our cultural power and resonate that. Okay, we need to even start using that term, cultural power. This is our cultural power. All right, and we need to start putting that in our lexicon, using that, because that's going to start resonating with other people. It's something that people can connect with. It's powerful. is something that people resonate with, people want to use, people want to utilize in their daily life. All right. So that way, when the next Vlad comes, he's not going to get far at all. There won't be another Vlad. Because culturally, we're making Vlad irrelevant. That's what it is. Now, you guys should be following me on my various social media platforms, which is Afro Elite on Instagram and Afro Elite on Twitter. All right. Make sure you guys subscribe too. And make sure you guys subscribe to the For the Culture podcast channel. The link to that is in the description as well too. The link to that, because part two is a banger, y'all. Part 2 is straight fire. Part 2 is coming. Part 2 is coming. So you guys, we really got to get that channel really booming. We really got to get that channel popping. So you guys make sure, I already dropped the OG part. I dropped a couple of shorts. I dropped a couple of shorts on the OG part. So y'all make sure y'all go check that part out too. All right. If y'all new to this channel, please make sure that you guys subscribe. Make sure y'all subscribe. Y'all don't miss out on nothing. Hit that like button. Let's blow this up. Let's express. Hitting that like button really is expressing cultural power. Because if you resonate and if you agree with this message and you hit that like button, that is really expressing cultural power there. So let's do this so we can create these domino effects and start knocking dominoes down. All right. And double check to make sure you guys are subscribed, just in case there's some agents in the mix who unsubscribed you. I'm just saying, because some people said it happened. So make sure. We've had a pretty good broadcast, my brothers and sisters. We really have. And with that being said, be one salute to every single last one of you all, and you all have a good one.